What's going on, everybody? And in this video, I'm giving you 15 things you need to know before Avowed releases. If all things gaming, news and previews are your thing, consider subscribing to the channel. I just want to start off by saying I'm sorry if my voice sounds really bad, but I've got the lurgy at the minute, but videos need making. So we've had plenty of news and updates, and with Avowed not too far away now, it's a good time to dive in and go through what's coming in the fantasy RPG developed by Obsidian. Avowed game director Kerry Patel has been doing the rounds answering questions, giving us even more information. And I'll link MinMax's video where they sat down with Kerry Patel and fired off 175 questions. It's a really good watch if you're interested in Obsidian and Avowed. I'll link it down in the description below. But first up is Avowed isn't an open world game, but more of an open zone one. And what this means is the game has a big map, but it's split into regions or zones that are connected to each other with a bit more structure to how we will approach the game. I don't mind this because unless your game has the immersion of a Kingdom Come Deliverance, open world could get pretty boring. Too many open world games lack a bit of filler in between activities, so I like the open zone approach. I think it's a really safe and good move by Obsidian here. And we've got some good news for console players. The game will actually run at 60 FPS. I know this has been a bit of a sore point, as there is no excuse for Series X owners not to have 60 FPS as a baseline. I'm guessing the delay has helped Oblivion tweak the performance, and therefore console players can now enjoy the game at 60 FPS. Kerry did say the benefit of delaying the game was more time to cook. I struggle with 30 FPS personally, as it gives me eye strain. So this is a welcome change, and I will now download this on console, because who doesn't love a bit of couch gaming? Next up, the game will be as big as the Outer Worlds, so pretty big then. I love the Outer Worlds with its large locations that you would spend ages getting to know, and all of its secrets as well within that. And what we've heard from the Avowed previews, it seems that this is no different. One previewer said he opened up more than 100 chests in one location, which is actually insane. And I know Obsidian have said in the past that there is lots of little hidden dungeons and caves and ledges and everything else in between to explore. So I think this is a really good size for the game. Next up, there are 3 classes: Wizard, Fighter and Ranger. Now this isn't including Godlike because we've got no choice. We're all going to be Godlike when we're going into the game. So Wizard, Fighter and Ranger are the 3 separate classes we can choose. In the previews, combat obviously came up, and a few did say that the game relies heavily on the Wizard combat with casting spells and applying buffs and debuffs, but the previewers only got to, I think, level 5 or 6. Although we can dual wield weapons like a wand and a pistol, and have a custom interchangeable loadouts as well, which is going to make combat, in my opinion, exciting and different. Like all RPGs though, when you put points into your stats, it will improve certain parts of your experience, so it's something we'll have to wait for in the reviews, which are dropping real soon, and we'll find out more. But here is some quick snippets of the actual skill trees. First up, we've got Ranger. We've got some icons here. I don't know what they mean at all. I don't think anyone does. But on the right, we've got marksmanship, and then we've got increases damage with bows and guns by 25%, and you've got 3 ranks. Underneath that, we've got the fighter one. On the right-hand side, we've got charge. Dash forward and smash into anything in your way, interrupting enemies and dealing explosive damage to break enemy blocks, destroy walls and shatter frozen enemies from bonus damage. Again, with different ranks increasing certain parts of that trait. And then we've got the Wizard one. Now on the right it says minor missiles. Summons 3 magical projectiles that seek out enemies, dealing large amounts of damage to nearby enemies on impact. With ranks 1 to 3 increasing the amount of missiles that you'll get. The game is set in the Living Lands, a new region in the world of Eora, which is from the Pillars of Eternity series, and is described as having a wild west frontier vibe with ancient magic, strange flora and dangerous fungi. We are a godlike character who was blessed pre-birth, and we have been sent by the Adrian Empire to investigate a mysterious plague known as the Dream Scourge. If there has to be just one thing that got me interested in Avowed, it was how the world looks and how colourful it is. Next up, the game is available through Game Pass, but does have a premium edition, which is £90, or you can upgrade from Game Pass to the premium edition for £18, which, to be honest, is such a good deal. You really can't say anything other than that. The premium editions do give you 5 days early access and also include 2 premium skin packs and a digital soundtrack along with an art book. Next up, enemies do not scale with our level. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about this because we can't decide if that's a good or a bad thing, until we have the game in our hands and are playing it. But I usually sit on the side of liking no enemy scaling, as it gives us a stronger sense of progression and accomplishment. Sometimes going back to old areas and just mindlessly slaying enemies you once struggled with is a nice feeling and adds replayability in my opinion, but it can also lead to the game becoming too easy really quick. So I hope the pacing is good in Avowed. If it is, this won't be a problem, but again, we're just going to have to wait and see. We can tell companions what to attack and with what weapon, along with choosing their power upgrades, but that is all we can do. We can't give them any new equipment, but if you do have the premium edition, you'll get special appearance packs. I think there's 2 of them. I'm not too fussed here because I rarely level up my companions anyway in these types of games, but for those that do enjoy that, at least you have the core fundamentals there. Next, you can side with the antagonist and choose to betray your homeland. This is great to hear as it gives you a choice. If you're a kind, caring person in real life, this might be the release you just need. Go and behave badly for once, hey? But having choices centered around a behavior that could affect the story is a great move. It really does get people thinking in these types of games. In RPGs, we love to feel part of the world, and what we're doing is making a difference. The immersion, everything that goes along with it, a strong story, consequences. I'm glad they've put this in there, and I hope it's as good as it sounds. Next up, you can't continue exploring the game once you roll the credits. You'll have to start another game because there is no point of returning the game, guys. In my opinion, all this will do is just make players explore every corner and unlock everything they can. I don't see any problem with this as long as the game tells you point blank, if you go beyond this point, there is no going back. You can't go and finish off any side quests, dungeons, whatever you want to do. As long as that's made clear in the game, nothing wrong with this. Moving on from there, kicking enemies isn't the only way of yeeting them. Well, picking them up and literally throwing them off a cliff will be fun, I suppose, and whatever else Obsidian has in store. Kicking enemies does look a ton of fun though. I remember seeing it when I first saw the trailer for this and I thought, just going to walk around with a sword and a gun and just kick the shit out of people. Anyway, can't wait to see what Obsidian have in store for us other than kicking. This one is for you Pillars of Eternity's fans. There will be multiple Pillars of Eternity cameos. I know absolutely nothing about Pillars, so I can't comment on who it will be. So please let me know down in the comments below who you think it would be, or it could be, because I've never played the game. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not, but hey ho, that's just how it is. But sound off down in the comments below, guys. Let me know who you think it will be. Cassie does say that increasing dexterity will make your attacks really fast. As a gun-wielding wizard, I can picture this being fun. Number 14, there will be around 100 NPCs in the biggest town, Paradis, which is a lot of NPCs to be honest. To be able to interact with that many guys means the locations will be full and feel alive, which is what you want in an RPG, especially one like Avowed, where you've got closed off regions. So this does say in the largest town. I'm sure that the other smaller locations are just going to be as vibrant and full of NPCs with that living world going on inside it. Fingers crossed anyway, but we're going to see very soon. And finally, on a potential DLC, Cassie did say maybe, and I suppose that's all she can say. I think this depends on how well the game is received, to be honest. If it does well, we will get more, and I'm pretty certain they have something in the oven already. Now, I'm going to end that there by saying that the art director, unfortunately, has kind of put a bit of spanner in the works with recent stuff that he said. I did make a video about this. Unfortunately, he was saying about interviewing non-white people, which wasn't really good, and I suspect there's probably a few lawsuits in the future. That did cause a little bit of upset on all socials, but I hope it doesn't affect the game, because a lot of good, honest people have put their hearts and souls into making this, and for it to be spoiled by one dickhead would be such a shame. But guys, that is the end of the video. If you've enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up as it helps the video and the channel out massively. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button as well for more content in the future. But as always, guys, take care and I'll see you on the next video.